Alrighty, hello everybody, and let's continue. Still not completely cured yet. Let's continue coding. And I got a second monitor, which is nice, a bit big, but I only got a very short cable, HDMI cable. And I did not continue. I laid in bed since I stopped yesterday. So, and the problem is I was trying to implement to change the modes. Let's also add a read mode. Those are the three modes I think we need at the start. And the problem here is, so what, by the way, what you can see up here is when I look to the right. So this is the advantage of the second monitor. Cannot be property of undefined length, and that is in 787. So mode known.length is undefined. That is weird because mode known.length should exist. But it does not. And the problem, wait, it's a use state. And that is weird. So let's check if it does not exist in here. That is correct. I want to check this, Mr. Copilot. So, what's going on? Oh, super laggy. It's also something we need to take a look at later. Why it hasn't been refreshed in like 18 hours, but even then, why it lags then is a good question. Oh no, this is the thing. So the first time it works. Set mode, this is the culprit, by the way. This is, that was pretty stupid, by the way, to mode and known is, no way, that is not correct. I think I want to change not the known but the current. I want to change the current, and for this we go in known and we check the rank. Of this and the next one, and this might work, I'm not completely sure, but for this we need to refresh again. Oh, hey R, will AI replace job? Like there's only one job on this earth. Like will AI replace the one job we have? I don't know, dude. Maybe, but would that be a bad thing? Let's say there are more than one job. If done right, then no one would have to work and AI would do all the work. But my current vision here is to move, but that's will not happen soon, will take some time, but to move away from what everybody uses, which is LLMs, which is large language model. Okay, I do not get a bug, but oh wait, the current Simport read undefined. Okay, this cycle through, this is good. But the third time it says undefined for some reason. But ELMs, which stood for Evolving Language Model, and now stands for Unfolding Language Model, which I have written a bit about. Not that anyone could read it yet, but don't really have that much code for it, and that's not a priority, but it's something here. The use ELMs, Unfolding Language Model, which right now is only responsible for, I mean, I haven't written much, for like providing the best recommendations, for instance, for tabs. But the tokes that I'm creating here, yeah, I guess. But what's also very secure is becoming an electrician or a mechanic, because those jobs you need to be local until we have like bots, literal, how do you say, like robots doing this. But this might take a couple more decades. Until then, we need real people. And I think that in the last 10 years, people start making more and more money as a mechanic. If you own a shop, first, that's very honest work. And I would think also fulfilling. And you cannot really outsource this. If your car breaks down, you need someone to be actually there. You cannot like outsource this to India and have your car shipped to India or what. No, that wouldn't work. Unless you live in India and need a mechanic, I guess, and you have Indian mechanics. Okay, so what you scan, maybe it's too small, but the console log is, this here is apparently not really correct. Do I, maybe? The third time it reads undefined, that is a problem. Syncput, and read. And he goes, Syncput, read, but not the one, or not the first one. But why not? Just length, maybe? If I do this, does it work then? Or I should remove the rank plus 1. No, I do not, because it's supposed to be the next one. Still, this didn't change anything. That's also weird, that it did not change anything. Maybe let's just refresh. Thank you. So, oh no. Syncput, read undefined. Okay, it worked the first time. For some reason, it worked the first time. Okay, let's think about it. Okay, this is the rank, or it's called a rank, where this is located in the array. And then we set the mode when we press Alt to be the next rank, but only up to the maximum of the length of the array. But -1 makes more sense, by the way, because we start indexing at 0 and not at 1. So if it's, wait a second, so if it is, okay, let's say we are currently at read, which is the index 2, and he finds it, and then the rank is 2, and then we want 3, but 3 is out of bounds. Then we divide it, yeah, by 2, I guess, which would leave us at 1. Wait a second. So this is probably better. So then this would be 3, and 3 is equals to 3, which is 0, the next one. Yeah. And then we have sync put, which is 1. And how do we do this? How do we get to 1 then? So this is 0? No, sync put is 0. Yeah, and then we have 1. 0 and 1, then we have syn put, 1 and 2, then we have read, and then this should work, but it does not. This is annoying. Sync put, read, and then undefined. Okay, first let's const new. Our new is reserved. Rank is 2, rank is 3. Yeah, but this is the problem. Why is the rank 3 and not 0? Because shouldn't, or am I mean, maybe I got this wrong, how this works. Shouldn't 3 here, shouldn't this be, shouldn't this be 0? Yeah. No, let's check this. I need to know, I guess I got slightly wrong. Wow, what is, I have to be a little careful. I have the display, I have my keyboard on my laptop. No, 3? No, I was correct. And then whatever this is called, rest 3 is 0. It's not 3. So this is correct. So if we have the mode known length is 3, I think this is the problem. It's not tupled, I think, maybe. Yeah. Now, easy. That was the thing. No, we don't need, I mean, we can add a break, but doesn't hurt. So now we have, and now it also changes, which it's not all the time, for some reason. Only the first times. It's once again annoying. But now this works. Okay, but maybe it's too small, but here this doesn't, it does only change until mode. Sync port? Yeah, no, the mode does change, but the display here does not. The current stays read, sync port, syn port. So this does change our mode. I am here in my mode. I am here in my mode. And I'm a million different people from one day to the next. I can change my mode. No. Okay, this is weird because it does. Now it does it again. Read once. Read. But it is a use state. So this is double annoying. Because this means it updates sometimes, but not all the time. So where do we have this? We have this in the array of the array. Let's just check where we get this from. Rage current put. Which seems very wrong, by the way. Sync port, rage, current put. Current put. I guess this is the problem. What am I doing here? I think I can, let's just give this directly. This is in the syn, the rage. Yeah. This is also weird. Coplot is reference from which repository? Maybe the styling was because I asked Copilot Gemini to do a little styling. Do a little down, make it low, get down tonight. Yeah, let's say mode. Let's do it like this. No, these syns we want to put it in the puts from the puts. These syns basis dot puts dot indo dot mode dot current. This might be correct. Rage and mode. And here we just say we want the mode displayed. Yeah, now it works. Nice. But what this is more or less cosmetic. But we want, yeah, this was the mode when we actually change the mode we want. Oh, first let's see if we want this whole display or in the put to be different. So the style comes from put.style. No, sin. Put sites since UI sites put. I'm not happy how yeah, let's change this. UI styles the put. Where do I get this from? The style of the put. I get it from here. Which was the little puts. Sin. Okay, it's in here. So first, let's get it from here directly. That makes more sense. No, that wasn't good. First, let me. Let it be. I'm right back. By the way, I had to close the curtains so the backlight here wouldn't make wouldn't shine in my back. It looked, yeah, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. So let's change that. The style comes from, first let's call this the current. Does this cause problems? Because I renamed this? I guess not. Interesting. The mode can stay. Yeah, and he is operating. No, I have to read sync. First, let's say sync, syn, or read. And the current should be sync, not sync put. And this didn't break anything. Nope, not. So, that was a little unnecessary when I pre-wrote this, I think. Okay, let's the good thing is when we are in read mode, we can have all of these combo effects on key down. We can turn the whole, every letter into like a shift key. I am looking at chat at times. Oh, now that I get, yeah, by the way, now that I got my second monitor since yesterday, I can and will put the chat, you can see it, but now I have the chat always visible. And I can also, maybe I can also log into this has to load, but in case I can join the stream on my phone, which I think is the same account. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I got a comment, maybe. Sorry. I am looking for, this is currently live, yes. And I can see myself. Okay. Because for some reason here, the strange folder and file names have a reason. As you can see, the files here, the hooks, all end in a C, which I call plural 2 or blue 2, and the base hooks all end in S. So I partition the plural into S and C, into nested or not nested. So this way I can immediately see what the logic is about by looking just at the name at the end of the word. And I know that a normal plural has quite a lot of hooks in them as well, while these usually only have one other hook, and that is always contracts, which is plural 3 or blue 3, which only applies to contracts, I think. Or maybe I have a second, but I forget. Yeah, the triple nested ends in X. So we have singular and blue 1, blue 2, and blue 3. So no, yeah. Okay, so what I want to do here finally is this sin. Justify content. No, see, that's the first thing. Yeah, it's pretty, like in my head already, like if it's plural 2 and the C at the end still gets pronounced like an S. So it works. So when I see this, I don't read numpacks. I read numpads and packs and pads and prokes. Yeah, and all those words are what I call Cody, which is also an invented word. And Cody is an invented word for, well, invented words. All relating to what I'm actually coding here. So I immediately know what I'm dealing with. Okay, and what I want to do now is that it actually changes the style when I'm in a different mode, which it does not do right now. But that's reasonable because I did not set this up yet in the put. I guess, but the style might. How do I do this? So, since UI side put, no, that's not correct. Let's say that we just go through. Wait a second, this should work if we say that we have this mode here. Then what we pass down first let's change this. D no. Yes. No. That's a long call. Mode.current, yes. And this might be already enough. Let's check. Okay, we have the sin. Now we need all the sing. Indo dots current. Carry property of undefined map. In 8. But it wants to map the. So this actually worked on first try, which is nice. But the frequency, he cannot. So because this triggered a true when we changed the mode, so that means that it actually worked, that long call. Now he wants to map the frequency, but the frequency does not desynth frequency, which seems reasonable that this is indeed here, but okay, apparently we we want the logic. Now let's do our own little hook here first. Oh no, that was incorrect. Let's do just a little cosmetic change with the word. Incense, which has the most hooks already. So by the way, a lot of hooks. And some of, maybe over half of which won't really have code in them because I want to create them dynamically anyway. But this was my way of compartmentalizing, I guess, is an okay word here. All the thoughts I was having. So to store these, I just created like a hook. And then I could free my mind a little bit from them, knowing that I can get to them later, and I already have some code for it. Code in quotes, I guess, because that's mostly boilerplate. Orders nest. Orders. I think that had a reason. Let's only add current to it. And the actual array is a nest, I guess. Yeah, the frequency, first of all, I can change the name. Okay, where do we store this? First, let's say we have here desynth Aces, frequencies. Yes, Indo, and then, yeah, not Indos. I guess the nests. This is where it should come from. Ah, okay, this is good. That, because we do not have a read put yet. But we can just quickly put read. Let's say the style, we can just say it's empty. Just so it doesn't throw, so it finds something. Maybe in the middle. Oh, cannot read property of undefined sequence. Oh, I guess I have to also give the read an allowance. I apologize again for smoking. I'm not endorsing. I'm simply what? Why? Oh, because I have a spelling mistake. Simply suffering a helpless condition. Being addicted to the... Oh, that's actually perfect, because read mode shouldn't have... That's actually good. That's actually correct. Read mode should look like this. Okay, so now that we have, I guess we wanted to start up top, or do we want the string always here at the bottom, which would be fun, I guess. Or do we want to ask Gemini, who's better at styling than I am? Okay, first we can definitely give it a padding. Padding, not much, let's just say 4 pixels. Oh, not in here. Oh, now we have the padding gives us a fucking scroll bar. For whatever reason, it's because it's not nested. That is a problem. So I guess what we can do, what can we do? Wait a second. How do I have this in here? Put.style. So when we cannot do a padding without the scroll bar, why not? Why can't we do this? Okay, we have a string and we have those words. So I guess first let's check the element if it's okay, first of all, apparently this is a string element, and it takes up all the space, and that is incorrect. It should not do this. Does it even have a style? It has a style. It does have a style, but it doesn't say anything about filling up the entire. Oh, here, display flex, line item center. Okay, first, I guess I can, it depends, I guess. If I want, mode equals sin, no, sing, question mark, and then let's check out if this works. Start, flex start, just start, I never know. Oh, that indeed did change. So we can, so this works, this is nice, very nice. And then but it still should not be the entire. Why is it? Okay, wait, this has a height. I hate styling. I really don't like it. Why does it have a full height? Just why? Display flex shouldn't make it full height. There's nothing setting the height. Shouldn't this just be, I mean, I cannot just have the height of the actual string? What am I missing? I'm not setting the height here. I don't. I do not. So that'll make no sense. Let's ask Gemini. Oh yeah, or maybe Rudra can. Hi, do you know? An app. Well, that's a lame answer. Like, let's start out as a mind mapping app. You will soon see in a couple of hours when I'm able to produce the words in here more than one string. But what I'm battling right now is that I do not know why it takes up the entire height. For money, I guess, for myself. Yeah, kind of, but like a more advanced form. So you know those usual mind maps only go like this, go out. This is supposed to also come back, and it uses like what you can see here in the middle, like URL, like a structure to sort all the data, to store all the data. So you can create like your very own internet with as many links as you like. For your mind map, and you can write in here, this is what I'm currently sitting at, to populate the middle, also drag and drop, dude, I don't know. And also here, what you can see, what we have here so quickly on, oh, that doesn't, yeah. Those are all coming from the numpad. Look how quickly we can put in emojis. So I changed the behavior of the keyboard a little bit. And now we can have as many special characters as we want readily available on the keyboard, which is pretty cool. But let me ask Gemini for a second here. Wait, before I ask, let's check in the style if this has anything to do, because style display, that also doesn't do anything for the height. No, it does not. Yeah, I also think it's pretty nice. I do not. Oh, thank you. You can stick around. You can, if you're a coder, you can join. Actually, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind sharing this. And if it works, we're gonna be immortal. And if not, we just keep coding until we make it work. Do I want to ask anything more? And by the way, I should also give it the mode. Doesn't it have already? No, it does not. So I have to pass it down. One more time. Mode. From the sin, which I think no. Yeah, mode current. To I guess the put. Yeah. So what is the answer? This is overstepping some boundaries, Mr. Gemini, to change. Oh wow, that's. Oh no, he just changed. No, I did not want this. Specifically, yeah. Height 100%. But why? Border radius 16 pixels. Background color with 50%. Oh no, this is fine. That this here. I mean, let's first. Okay, let's first go in down in space when we do the space here. If put, oh by the way, if put equals sing, because we changed it, then yeah, if put equals sin, then, oh, do we want to tokenize upon space, by the way? I think we kind of do. Yeah, we do want this. right back. Oh no, it's string. Yeah, if puts equals sing. Or what was noops again? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's none of these are open. Oh, and also tabs.current.double. Oh, what else? No. And I guess also if it's not quote, if we are not in a quote. Okay, if put sing and so the way we have this special space character. Oh no, we do not want, we want to tokenize actually. We want to tokenize. Oops. Toke shelf turn. Yeah, that is actually correct. That was yeah, that is pretty good. And now the states.current also needs to get states.current.current.string. Do we want to? Here. Let's see if this works. Yep. That's lagging again. Let this get fixed with the restart. Not sure how viable that is long term. Oh no, yeah, because we are. Okay, so we have this. Oh, by the way, I can make this a little bit bigger. Not. Okay, and now the toke. Let's first console log the toke. What we get here. Toke. Okay, nothing. Let's save it. Toke undefined. That's bad. Ooh, that's not good. Use tokes and in turn. Oh, the string. No, that's correct. Why is it undefined? Here. That's weird. Okay, it's bigger than 1. String dot attached. It works for this. Toke and tokes turn. Wait, this doesn't even trigger. Why? This doesn't trigger. I am a little bit confused. String dot length is undefined? What? That makes no sense. Oh! Yeah, no, it does make sense. It does make sense. Now I understand. I passed the whole object. But why did this work before? No, wait, what? Okay, first, what am I passing here? I guess I passed it the wrong. Ah. I think this might be the problem. Maybe. No. Now I get this error. Use tokes 126 right up here. Ah. That's the only thing that, okay. Now we get the proper toke. Link. Why, but this is bad because it has, the link has null. This. Oh wait, it's because I'm hijacking this as well. I'm hijacking this one. first we can change this to else if put equals sin. I'm just thinking for a second if we could turn this into minus, but we can't turn this into actual. No, because this is not a minus anyway. This will toggle through the different numpads. Yes, it will. Okay, so just have this be the normal. Yeah. This is weird now. Okay, the label is also wrong. The string is wrong. And we had this problem before. We had this before the problem. So we just put it in here and do not do this, we do breathe, just the breath, right? No, breath.string, I guess. No, breath, the whole breath. This will work now. I think it won't do anything for our null bug, but it takes the entire string now. Now it'll take the entire string. Yeah. But what I spotted here, oh, now it's also okay, but what about that? Here, that's the problem, that we get a null in the, so, but we do not get a null if it is a horde, which stands for hyphenated word. The link creation is a problem. Link. So I guess we do this. If it doesn't have a parent, I think it's as easy as this. As easy as this. And now the link should work. But do we want to say that this is actually a word? And we could introduce let's find. Let's see if we have alternative plus symbols. And then we just add a new modifier, all Unicode plus symbols. Yeah, of course we have a few. So which one do we want? plus sign symbols. I like the circle plus. Or maybe this, because it looks like a tally sheet. And this kind of makes sense. Yeah. Oh, we have so many plus symbols. Or maybe we wait for this for... Oh, plus sign with subscript 2, that is pretty cool. I like this. Oh, they are colored? I didn't know that. We have actual colored symbols as well in Unicode, like this. Let's just use this one. And we write a new bird for this, which we could also write in the app directly. But this way, in case we need to reset the store of the birds, where do I want this? Oh, I already have these, I forgot. But that's fine. Let's do it on row 4, row 1. Const misc, not soaps, misc operators. And we put it on row 4, row 1. This is the syntax, by the way. And we just do it like this, and we call that the add scope operator. And now, because we are outside the app, we have to manually copy and paste this. And yeah. Yeah, and now, as you can see, we have this on holding down 4 and pressing 1. So I did this so we can have like multiple DMPs. Or multiple anything to target multiple parts. So in tokes, in the token process, the link, where was this? I just had it under Word. Yeah, here. Oh, yeah, no, not really, by the way. Now we need to deconstruct it. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. Const, wait, first let's say we have a link, which we should always have, by the way. Let's DDMPs. If link, then no. DNP and rest equals link.split, and we split it here. And then we join this. The Def. Der Monitor wird gleich ausgeschaltet. Oh, interesting. Wait, I don't. No, I don't need to split it. I can just add it at the beginning. So the link, we want link, and then this. Now we want the DDNPs. So this should work now. This should work now. So the link, yeah. So we know that these are two different DMPs. This makes enough sense. Okay. Now let's make a pizza. See you later in the morning. That is classic pizza time, 11 in the morning. Isn't this right? That doesn't sound like making pizza in your area street. That sounds like cleaning up a little bit. But it's pizza related, because here are a bunch of pizza cartons. Cardboard boxes. Line. Okay, so let's have a little timer for 12 minutes. Yep. Excuse me. So we have the talk now. Do we do anything with this? Yes, we do. The frequency. Why does this work? This shouldn't work. This should throw, because there is no. We renamed it, right? Oh, we didn't rename it in here. Oh, what? No project. Okay. Yeah, I know. So this does take. Oh, wait. Why doesn't this do anything right now? Oh, weird. So maybe. So we are in frequency, which we also want to rename. Use frequencies. Use since 160. No, 16. Yeah, that is easy. We just have to change this to an A. So the take. So this does take it, but first we need to check if. No. We need a count, by the way. The order. Yeah, that kind of makes sense, by the way. Toke.fq.rank. Yeah, that makes sense, to be honest. So this does work. So why? So in a perfect world, by the way, this would have already worked. So the frequency, yeah. Let's check what it says. Console log frequency. frequency. It's maybe also because we do not actually, no, we kind of do. Well, we do have the frequency here. It's because we're not returning, but no, right? Or no, maybe we do not return. No, that's not it. So, but I wasn't this far off that we do have toke is word. So this actually could be displayed, but it's not. Does it have? It does have a string value. All of this is true. Let's see if it's. Oops, Let's see if this locks. No, it does not. It does not. It does not. Oh, but here it does. True. That is true. Okay, let's make an if statement out of this. If then we return, right? Yeah. Now, okay. But we do not have a space in between them. Oh, in here we have the console not forwards. Oh, and we do not have a space, by the way. We do have a space. If string.length is bigger than 0. Oh, that kind of makes sense. I know why I did that. If do I even get the string? the string is a string. And I guess string dot string. If string dot length, will this work? No. No, it does. Oh no, it does work. We have spaces now. Oh. But we always need the space. We can just do it like this. We can just do it like this. Yeah, now we have a space. Nice. Now we are somewhere closer. I'm looking at the countdown for my pizza. How small is this, by the way? Oops, sorry. Doesn't want to go over. Yeah, it's not really easy to see the actual site. It's a little small. Well, it's fine. Nothing we can do about this. So, we do not need the string then for now. And let's continue with the backspace logic for that we actually remove the latest and where's backspace? Here, I'm pretty sure, yeah. Yeah, okay. Oh, interesting. Oh yeah, that could have worked already, but it did not. Oh, the timer stopped. Jesus, okay. right. I just lied in the kitchen, in the community kitchen here. There's this room and they were watching Young Sheldon. I'm like, what's the Big Bang Theory? Which I did not. Just to relate. Okay, let's watch some Gotham chess while we take a pizza break. Is this just talking? I want to see chess being played. Not the Hikaru Gukesh drama. I think that's just talk. The controversy is that Hikaru threw the king in the crowd in an exhibition match. Which my personal opinion is this would even be great if it was a normal match. Just because I like hype, and it's not that bad. It's just fun, it's just a little banter, you know? Get over yourself. It makes for a more entertaining sport if you do this. So good for Hikaru. Is this chess? It looks like it.
Our brain is brilliant.
That is so eerie.
It can...
This, like the look on his face and his head explode for some reason. But Strato is pretty shitty.
Ladies and gentlemen,
business.
whether you've been following chess or just... I had a 45-minute interview. One day we will have another one, and hopefully that next one is a little bit more peaceful. Also, he offered to coach me, but I suck, so we'll see what happens. E4, E5. Actually, both of these games were E4, E5. Hans was white in one, and he was black in the other. 3250, 3293, only ratings that people can dream of. Knight to F3, Knight C6, and we have an Italian game. Magnus plays Knight to F6. Obviously, beginners watching, you look at this position, you got fried liver stuff. These guys, they know all the openings, they know all the tricks. Fried liver just doesn't quite slap as hard, so you play the move D3. And now Magnus plays bishop E7. It is much more active and much more common for the bishop to go to the C5 square, but Magnus has been playing bishop E7 recently. Another person that plays bishop E7, I think, is actually Hans with the black pieces, and if I'm making a mistake, it's Dubov, who played against Hans in like 100 games recently. They had a bunch of matches. Hans has sort of been a man on a mission recently. He's been playing a lot of these matches versus people, these heads-up matches, one-on-one matches, and he's been doing quite well. I don't cover every single one of them because you guys get fatigued and won't watch all of them anyway. A3, D6, bishop to E3, normal development, and now exotic stuff. So here, Hans plays in a way I've never seen before. And he plays this way in 5 seconds. This is in Italian. In the Italian, white plays castles, H3, knight D5, whatever. Hans goes queen to E2. Because the idea of the setup that he is playing is to castle long. Let me tell you something right now. Playing the boring old school Italian and then playing like this and castling queenside is not something I have ever seen in my life. It's not. When I open up Explorer, yeah, I mean, A3, D6, Queen E2 and long castle has never been played. It's never been played. I've not seen this setup ever before. This is mind-blowing. Now, again, white just has a very straightforward idea. He just wants to create an attack. And maybe he wants to play D4 in the middle. Magnus goes queen D7. There's a bit of tension in the middle. Hans plays rook G1. It's quite clear that his intentions are to play G4 and maybe H4. Magnus says, I'm going to put my knight here. And the idea is that I would like to take your bishop, and the idea, if you move your bishop, is that I have made you more passive, I secure better control of d4, etc. Maybe I also have a long-term idea to push my f-pawn because my knight on f6 is moved. Hans is like, take my bishop. Go ahead. Fully set on attacking, knight takes, pawn takes. This does a few things. It doubles your pawns, but it secures control of the center. It opens up the f-file if you ever want an attack. And also g4 ideas, stop f5. Now, the best move here for black is a very counterintuitive knight to a7. I mean, counterintuitive is actually a bit of a strong statement, because if you give this position to a strong player, they will find the concept to play knight a7 and b5. The knight gets out of the way, the b and c pawns get liberated, and now the pawns can go up the board. That's a very obscure move, though, and for blitz, it's much easier to play a4 within 10 seconds. But a4 is an inaccuracy because it allows bishop b5, and bishop b5 has two problems. First of all, this pawn's weak. Second of all, you can't play knight a7, you're completely paralyzed. So now black will have to spend multiple moves, moving the queen, moving the knight, and trying to regenerate an attack. In moving the knight and the queen, you will lose time. Queen c8, the second that Magnus Carlsen takes a step backwards. Like a tennis match, Alcaraz Center, incredible stuff by the way. Like a boxing match, the second Magnus gives Hans an inch. Hans takes 5 miles. d4, of course, the best move in the position. This is just a pure fork threat. If black takes, you undouble my pawns, which of course just benefits me. And then I have the same threats, and you lose a central presence. So the knight now has to move. So Magnus has moved the queen and the knight. He's a couple of moves away from securing a totally nice position with c6, b5, etc. But Hans shuts it down. Bishop goes to d7. And a couple of moves ago, I told you one of the byproducts of this move is the pawn. And, well, Hans just takes the pawn. This is like poker. He's calling the bluff. He's taking the pawn on a4 because he's like, Magnus, I don't think you have enough here. Magnus has to go c6. Idea is quite straightforward. If you take, I take with a pawn, I secure control of the middle, and then I will begin counterplay. With my queen, with my 2 rooks on the c and b files, because your attack never got anywhere. You need like 7 moves to get these pawns going. c6. Hans now plays knight d2, again, understanding the position extremely well. Knight d2 has multiple ideas, just like every move of this game. The cleanest idea is that you want to move the knight and trade off black's knight, but you also want to support your position. If the bishop comes here, which it will on the next move, b5, right? It will. You want to be able to take it, because this knight is not going to go that way. So knight d2, knight over here is excellent stuff. Bishop back to e8. Hans now plays the bishop to b3. He says, Magnus, take it, because my idea is not even to take it with the knight, it's to take it with the pawn.
Oh, interesting.
It's to take it with the pawn. And when you take me, I take back, and we're chilling. This knight is now ready to go to c4, ready to go into the middle. Now the best move here for Magnus was to sack his rook. Rook a3, a belligerent missile flying into the position, then you take the knight, and allegedly, black is actually not just equalizing the position, black is maybe even doing slightly better, which is crazy to think about, right? Rook a3, followed by queen c3. But okay, f5. Completely reasonable move as well, securing control of the position. I talked about this move a long time ago. The bishops can also come help, and the pawns can march, and it's anybody's game. Hans plays king b1, very natural move, and the king maybe goes to a2, where it's very safe, and not just the king going to a2, rook c1. Out of nowhere, these two moves, f5, king b1, again, according to the computer, Magnus has to sack his rook. This is an impossible move. It's an impossible move. Why would you do this? To just have your queen come in against nobody. Bishop g6, with nobody, not against nobody. Rook c1, and suddenly it's like, wait a minute. This setup that Hans has created for his king is completely safe. The black pieces are all striking out. There's no attack. Maybe you go b5, b4, but it's kind of a long shot. You're going to try to activate the bishop, but it's actually Hans who's going to start using his knights. Rook e1, securing the control of the e3 pawn. This attacks the rook. He just moves the rook, and now Hans can make a draw. He can repeat moves. He doesn't. He moves the knight back to f1, and the entire time he is maintaining an advantage, and Magnus blunders. He's maintaining an advantage on time. Magnus plays f4. He needed to move his queen out of the way, but the tension was rising. Pressure was building. He plays f4, knight e4.
Wait, why can't the knight be? Oh, because of the...
...is a clean tactic. That is an attack on the queen, that's an attack on the bishop, that is a hanging of the knight, but there was a discovery. and suddenly Hans Niemann is winning. He is up a queen for a rook and a knight. I know it looks weird because black also has 2 bishops, but the way that a queen defeats an army of pieces like this is you simplify. You try to trade one of the rooks, you try to trade the knight for the bishop, and then you isolate the queen against the rook and the bishop, and then you go try to pick off the weaknesses. Pawns really help. Pawn takes f4, bishop f4. You can't take the bishop because the rook hangs, so rook d1. Bishop goes here. Now we play knight e3. And the entire time, Hans is also pressuring on time. He's not just outplaying Magnus on the board, he's actually playing on time. a4, I've already talked about this. We would love to trade a pair of rooks and get the pawns going over here. We have h5. Magnus trying to do something. a5. Hans just pushing. Rook c8. King b3. Rook f1. We're looking for trades. We are actively looking to trade some pieces. Rook f4. Oh my goodness. He sacrifices the rook in 1.3 seconds and just plays queen d2. And he just has multiple paths to victory. The knight is blockading everything. The rook cannot create sufficient counterplay. Rook f8, b5. He's just going to push the pawns. Ultimately, he has more pawns than his opponent. Rook e2, a6. Pawn takes, pawn takes. The pawns are going to go together. That was Hans's entire idea. He was just like, I'm going to push the pawns. Magnus not going to be fast enough here. The bishop is completely blocked out. Rook a8, a7. The only moment of the game that he slips up. Apparently here Magnus could have played rook f2, rook back to f7, and he would have been in time to stop the pawn. But with 15 seconds on the clock, he goes this way, and this way is too slow because the king stops everything. You needed to go to f2. Now you can't go to f1, rook c1, rook c7 is stopped, and Hans ends this game in style, not just by sacrificing his rook, but by sacrificing his queen and playing b7. And that is the end of the game. The 2 pawns, the triumphant pawns, over the last 15 moves, literally just marched up the board. By the end of the game, it looked like this. The pawns had made it to the end. Black cannot save them both. Hans beats Magnus. That was Hans's first win in Title Tuesday against Magnus. I think maybe even ever, which is insane. Which is crazy. I don't know how that's possible. Like, maybe but he always draws or loses in Title Tuesday. He lost in Speeches Championship. And the craziest part is, the next round, Hans has to play black. And his opponent is Hikaru. 33-21, 32-93. These dudes have an average rating of 33-10. I think Hans is the 3rd highest rated player on the website behind them. Now, how can Hans win with black in an Italian, right? In this game, he had white, and he played a very exotic idea, long castling in an Italian, which, okay, I mean, I'm going to have to take a look at this. This is wild stuff. But with black in a totally symmetric Italian, what happened? So first Hikaru goes knight d2, which is a weird move. Like, it's much more natural to play c3 or even knight c3 like we saw in the previous game. C3, bishop b3. So again, 2 moves that are definitely quite obscure. Hans just castles. Queen e2. So 3 moves that are very obscure, not playing the traditional, you know, c3, knight d2, knight f1, not playing like h3, this type of stuff. Rook e8, and now h3. And actually already as early as move 7-8, Stockfish was evaluating the position as very pleasant for black, which, again, to all of us, including me, that doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. We're too stupid to understand this. a5. Obviously trying to play a4. Hikaru plays c3, saving the bishop, and Hans takes the space and strikes in the center. So rook e8, defending, supporting d5, c6, a5, a4, taking space away from the white pieces, but overall the positions are around equal. Hikaru now delays castling again, plays knight f1, kind of improvising at this stage. Maybe he wants to move the bishop, maybe he wants to put the bishop on g5, maybe he wants to put the knight on g3, or g3 like this. Hans plays b6, supporting the bishop and opening up this diagonal. That's the point. He wants to put the bishop on a6 because otherwise he's not going to be able to develop it easily. Putting it on e6 hangs the pawn, and also the bishop would be a target. Hikaru goes knight g3, Hans follows up with his plan of pawn takes, and putting the bishop on a6. And from the early game, it's black whose position looks slightly more pleasant, right? Not so easy for Hikaru to make a move. He goes queen d2, offering a trade of queens. You can take, and black is better. Hans Niemann's not trading the queen. He spends 30 seconds deciding if he should move his queen here, where for the moment it's a bit passive, and it allows maybe white's queen to activate with attacking ideas, or, you know, he can of course trade the queen. He plays queen c7. Now white can't castle.
Okay, we continue soon.
You see, Hikaru spends several moves rotating his pieces. Now white is going to struggle to castle. If you play bishop d3, I just pin the bishop to the queen, and I win the game. So how's white going to play here? By the way, free pawn. Like, side note, absolutely free pawn. Not so easy to take it, though. Hikaru goes here. Sacrificing ideas, he wants to maybe take on g7. He wants to play queen g5. Threatening mate. Hans now plays the best move. He finds this move. It's the best move. Undevelops his bishop to f8. Right? Defends g7. Nice. And now there's no way to break through. So what do we do? Queen g5. There's no threat. But we have ideas like knight h6 potentially, etc. Now we play king h8. With the two moves, bishop f8 and king h8, white's attack is completely stuck. Completely stuck. There is, you would love to get your pawns involved, you want to play knight h2, knight g4, but you don't have time. You can still go knight h6. Still go knight h6, but it's probably not going to work out in the end. Queen h4. Bishop g5 is an idea. Knight g5 is an idea, etc. Knight d7. Okay? Hikaru's looking for openings. Right? Bishop e3, maybe g4, maybe g5, knight h2, etc. Bishop g5. Now here is perhaps the most impressive move of the entire thing. Knight g8. This is this is Karpovian level. Hans Niemann is not Anatoly Karpov. Right? He does not play chess like Anatoly Karpov. He plays chess like a berserker. He is aggressive, he is dynamic, but for him to play bishop f8, king h8, and knight g8 is unbelievable. This is such nasty defending. You bait in your opponent, and then you move all your pieces to the 8th rank, and there is no way through. White's pieces are not coordinated in a way where any of them can land a knockout blow, and what's going to end up happening is they're going to get kicked out with f6 and g6, and once they get kicked out with f6 and g6, he's going to come back and collect the initiative, right? Like, white still can't castle. If white plays long castle in this position, more on that later, like right now, right? We're going to see what's going to happen. He just plays knight c5. And again, because white does not have an immediate knockout punch on the right side of the board, black is just going to start booting him. Bishop e3 back, this is the first, the first step backwards. You know that these moves are on the way. g6 is very natural, but he's trying to set up knight g5, I almost said Magnus. Hikaru's trying to set up the move knight g5. So Hans plays f6. Now knight g5 is not possible. Now g6 is coming. Where's the knight going to go? Is it going to go back here? Because I got news for you, that's where it went, right? Queen d2, queen g5, queen h4, knight g3, knight f5. That knight, let's not forget, went from d2 to f1 to g3 to f5. Now it's going to go back to the g3 square. Meanwhile, black has made a lot of progress on the side of the board. Knight to h2, Hikaru's still trying. Queen f7. The declination, I don't even know if that's a word, of the queen trade, then to f7, and now the queen is an attacking piece. Everything in the black position works together well. Hikaru takes the knight. Because the thing is, had he gone to b1, he was probably worried about bishop c4. And then the knight coming in with bishop a2 and knight b3. So he goes here. Hans just takes, king b1, still puts the bishop on c4, and for a brief moment, it looks like there's no way through. Okay, you can give a check, but that doesn't do anything. He still gives the check, and he comes here. The idea is very simple. If bishop takes b3, Hans is going to take with the pawn. By the way, there's also some positions taking with the queen and sacrificing the bishop makes sense, but taking with the pawn is absolutely lethal. It opens up the rook for a direct assault, bishop sacrifice, and probably black is just winning on the spot. So Hikaru can't do that, he has to go somewhere else. Another possibility, he could have went rook d2, and then he could have tried to reinforce, but he doesn't go for that. Instead he plays knight d6, we have queen f8 back, Hans gives up a rook. He gives up a rook to take the bishop with an attack, and when the knight comes out, he takes, and his knight, Hikaru's that is trapped.
Is it? Yeah.
Again, the sequence is wild, man. Knight d6, there was a lot of possibilities here that black could have played. He could have taken. And then the idea was that, bishop takes, and then you would trade the bishop for the knight. But he goes here because when the knight takes the rook, and this happens, you have to save your knight. If rook d2, the bishop just goes here, and the knight is going to get trapped. So Hikaru went here, took, and now rook d8 is the best move. Why is rook d8 the best move? Because you attack the rook for white, and then the queen is going to come with d1 ideas. Rook d8, queen here, knight here. You have check on d1, king a2, queen b3, defended by the pawn, wins the knight. Hans saw that. Queen g4, take, queen c8, and the knight is trapped. Hikaru has to just give up the knight. Hans plays queen d7, knight to e7, knight g6, brings the knight, kicks the knight out. Just make sure you don't get any sort of back rank checkmate. Knight goes to e3, knight c4. There is no queen d8. Hans picking up 2 pawns, and here Hikaru, I suppose, resigned. I don't think he lost on time because it says 7 seconds. He resigned. He resigned because, again, might be confusing for some people, but at this level, there are no back rank checkmates to blunder. At your level, you absolutely should not resign this position. I would go knight b3, keep pieces on the board. And for black, what you should do here as a low-rated player is you should just make sure your king is never going to get back rank checkmated. Hans went on to win this tournament with 10.5 out of 11. He almost pulled off the incredible. He pulled off the 11 out of 11. But he just pulled off something that I don't even know if you go back statistically. How many people have managed to beat Magnus and Hikaru back-to-back in the same tournament? Might just be him. I don't know. Incredible stuff. Congratulations to him. He's, you know, like I said at the beginning of this video, he's doing all sorts of stuff now. He's doing like one-on-one matches, and he lost one to Guy.
Let's continue coding. Let's continue in German, I think. Let's restart. Ups. Und dann machen wir eine Runde auf Deutsch. Yeah.